Hey everyone, so our final MyPlate lesson is going to be on protein. As you can see, it's going to make up the final quarter of our plate. There are two different types of protein that we can get. Animal-based protein, which will be poultry, fish, eggs, dairy, red meat, or you can get plant-based protein such as nuts, seeds, legumes like beans and lentils, as well as soy products like tofu, tempeh, and edamame. As far as how much protein we need a day, the recommended dietary intake is at least 0.8 grams per kilogram of body weight, not pounds. I typically like to suggest at least 1 gram per kilogram of body weight. So in order to get your weight in kilograms, you need to divide your weight by 2.2. So let's say you weigh 150 pounds, divide that by 2.2. and that will get you your weight in kilograms. So if you're eating 1 gram per kilogram, then whatever your weight is in kilograms, that will be how much protein you need per day. This number is going to totally vary based on your age, your activity level, the intensity of your activity, how long your activity is, any other underlying conditions you may have, as well as any acute stress or injuries that you may have as well. So as you can tell, protein intake is going to vary between each person and how much they need in general. So work with a dietitian like myself to try to figure out how much you need per day. The best choices are going to be ones that are lean. So with animal-based proteins, just choosing lower fat options. So like I said, most people need at least 1 gram per kilogram per day. Now what's really important with protein is spreading that out throughout the day. So let's say you need 75 grams of protein per day. You shouldn't really be eating 60 grams of that in one meal and then having the 15 grams maybe at breakfast or lunch or as a snack. Our body can really only process about 25 to 35 grams of protein at once. And so we want to stick to that range within a snack or a meal and then spread it out evenly throughout the day. Because if you have 60 grams all at once, then that other 30 grams is just going to get, potentially just stored as body fat, and that protein is not going to be able to get utilized for muscle building and all the other wonderful things that protein does in our body. So just make sure that it's spread out evenly throughout the day within the protein intake that you should have each day. When it comes to choosing animal-based versus plant-based proteins, both are great options. However, animal-based proteins are considered what we call a complete protein, meaning that it contains all of the essential amino acids. And amino acids are just the building blocks of protein. They're what make up protein. So all of the protein found in animal products have all of the essential amino acids for our body, meaning that our body can't make those. So there are some proteins that our body makes by itself and some proteins that we have to get from food. So animal proteins provide all of those essential ones that our body can't make. On the other hand, plant-based proteins do not contain all of the essential amino acids that our body doesn't make. That doesn't make plant proteins a bad option. One way to get around this is to consume complementary protein options. So having grains and protein together within one day will actually provide all of the essential amino acids, because our legumes, for example, such as beans or lentils, are really high in some essential amino acids, but are low in some others, whereas grains happen to be much higher in the ones that our beans are lower in. So they work well as complementary proteins in providing all of those essential amino acids. So just make sure that if you do eat a plant-based diet, that you are getting both grains and plant-based proteins such as beans and legumes together in one day. It doesn't have to be in the same meal, just as long as they're consumed in the same day, then you'll get all those essential amino acids. The only plant-based protein that is an exception is soy protein. That is an option that actually does have all of the amino acids that we need. My final point that I just want to make with protein is to start approaching meals in a different way. Typically, we all like to base our meals around the protein, such as fish or chicken, or we know we want to make shrimp or burgers that night, whatever it is, and then everything else happens around that. So really switch your mindset and maybe start focusing your meals more around vegetables, making this the bulk of the meal and then treating the protein source as the side rather than the main part of the entree. That will help you control portion sizes, but also get some more vegetables in our diet. If you have any questions, please let me know, and thanks for tuning in.